Hey there, ghoul friends. I'm Piper,
And I'm Matt.
and this is Two Ghouls, One Podcast, where we like to discuss all things current, classic, and obscure.
And today we're going to talk about a movie that Piper rewatched, and I mostly rewatched Frankenstein's Army. I didn't really have time to watch all of it before recording.
But he definitely would have liked to, because it's very good. So you should
Yeah,
watch it after this podcast.
I'm surprised this didn't make your top five.
Oh, I mean, it is pretty good, but I don't know, because I was just like, I don't know, I had a hard time pinning five down, because I like just the whole genre. And it's like, even if there's shitty ones, I tend to like them anyways. So it's like, what even would be my top? So I just went with like my most watched. And Frankenstein's Army came out, I want to say like maybe 2013. And a lot of my other ones were from like the 2000s. So I guess it just kind of by default like wasn't old enough for me to have watched more than the ones from like the 2000s and stuff like that. So
I gotcha. Well, this is becoming one of my most rewatched from you.
you've
So,
only you like rewatched most of it one time. Are you telling me you don't watch movies over?
who has time for that?
Me, but
There's
I also watch fewer movies than you. Like you have a larger like stack of movies you've seen, whereas I'm like, yeah, I've seen all of these same horror movies 20 times each.
I will rewatch ones that, like The Substance, I've watched about five times now.
hmm
If it's something special, I'll go back
Yeah.
to it a few times.
If it's a big money Rustlers,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's like a comfort movie.
I totally get it.
But this is a good one. This is a very good one, especially
hmm
considering what it is,
Yeah.
which is like,
I think in terms of like Frankenstein movies, I would have to say this is the most original, which is it's very loose. It's a very loose telling of Frankenstein, but it's also the most unique of any Frankenstein story.
yeah, it's, well, I guess we'll spoiler free and then spoiler after.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd do like a run through of what the movie is essentially about, like I don't know if you would consider it a synopsis or not. Because I'm
Sky,
so
you can let
bad.
us
Yeah, Sky, is this a worthy synopsis? Would you watch this movie? Dude teaches a, what is the technical, like, what does he teach?
know. Bullshit.
Yeah, some of the, like, one of those liberally art movie, who even, but no, he's like a college professor and he teaches, we'll just say film, uh, or at least like he discusses film. I don't recall the exact like name of the class he teaches. Um, but dude is like, oh, I don't really watch movies. I just read the synopsis for them. Like, we're gonna
So
get
yeah,
Sky fired. Like,
yeah, maybe that'll get cut, maybe.
we'll see.
But maybe if it's a worthy synopsis, he'll feel like he doesn't have to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. What makes a good synopsis? When you feel like you don't even have to watch it, or when it's something that makes you want to watch the movie?
I feel like both would count as a good synopsis in my book.
Yeah. Would you give it a 2.5 out of 5? See, we
That
don't have we can do inside jokes still because the only people listening so far are just our friends anyways.
yeah, and this is the week Sky's telling his dean or whatever, hey, you should check out my friend's podcast.
Are you joking or is that a for real thing?
No, I'm joking.
Okay, I was like, oh, we gotta cut that. Like, I don't really want him to get fired. I just want to joke about getting him fired. Okay, so trying to be spoiler free, which I'm not that great at. Um, this movie is a bit of an outlier for me because I'm gonna tell you like a rundown description of it, and I'll say beforehand that this type of movie based solely on the description would not be my kind of movie, like whatsoever.
No
But it's
cannibals.
yeah, well, it's just it honestly takes my least favorite types of movies in a certain way, and somehow it works for me anyways. Because it is a one, it's found footage style, which I don't like. I don't really care for found footage movies, and it also takes place during wartime, so it's kind of a war movie, and I don't like that either. But the way that it kind of comes together, it just works. Like it's not too found footagey. You don't get a bunch of like shaky cam that I don't like. Uh as far as like it being a war movie, it's pretty much like just focusing on essentially the aftermath of the war because it takes place during World War II, but you're not just seeing like a bunch of people in the middle of a battlefield and like going to war. You're kind of just seeing the aftermath of what war does to communities and stuff like that. So I think maybe that's the reason it works for me when I wouldn't typically like the type of film that I just described. Uh, you follow a group of Russian soldiers as they attempt to locate and rescue a separate group of Russian soldiers from the enemies, which am I saying the four letter N word? Okay,
You
yeah,
can say
that doesn't sound like the other N word. It's the four letter N word that we're talking about. I heard it once I said it and I was like, oh.
I'm going to
Um,
interject before you get us canceled and say that yeah, we can say Nazis.
okay.
Don't say the other one.
Yeah, that wouldn't even be a question. I'm not asking if I can say that. I wouldn't want to. Um, but yeah, so they're trying to rescue some fellow Russian soldiers from the Nazi like enemy lines, and
It's going to be really hard getting through this movie without saying Nazi. So
it it would it would nearly be impossible. Like,
just rip that band-aid right now.
yeah, fair. I mean, do you have anything to add to that that would be spoiler free?
Yeah, the fucking camera should not exist in goddamn World War II. It's like iPhone quality fucking camera, and it's World War fucking two.
Matt gave me shit about that camera at first, and I was
In
like,
real time. I'm messaging her like on TikTok about this fucking camera.
yeah, because I recommended the movie to him and he was like, hold the fuck up. And I'm like, please, man, just like let that slide. It's gonna be worth it. And it was, though. It was worth it.
It was, but it should
Yeah.
not look that good. It should not sound that good. It should not
Hmm.
have that battery life. It so I'm telling you this now. Just get that out of your head. It is worth watching, but here you come and listen to me bitch about it, and you can bitch right along with me, and then enjoy the movie.
Yeah, bitch in the comments about how much you hated the inaccuracy as they didn't have the 1942 wind up camera. Like,
Like it's it shouldn't even be a found footage movie, to be honest.
I agree.
They forget that that's what they're doing half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like at one point the lens gets cracked and then it's just not cracked.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of complaints about that, even from like critics reviewing the movie at the time, of it's just it's not really important to the movie that it be a found footage.
Yeah, just one character is a cameraman. And
Like they could have easily rewritten just a small little detail and just made it a non found footage film. So, with that being said, with the gripe out of the way, or possibly just a pause in the gripe, maybe you want to bitch about it more, that's fine.
oh, I'll for sure be bitching about this goddamn camera.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I think that's probably why I don't mind it being a quote found footage movie, because it kind of fucking isn't. Like,
Yeah, it half of it they're shaky cam and they're like, oh, make sure you save the camera. And then the other half, the camera just kind of teleports to wherever they end up. And
hmm
literally, there he's talking about the camera, and he's in the fucking shot in one scene. It's like, who?
who's working
Why?
this camera?
And it's not like propped on a rock or anything. Somebody's clearly holding the camera. So I
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I yeah, because even in the plot of it, it's like I guess they try a tiny bit to give it some sort of like validity, and they're like, "Oh, we have to film everything for evidence for future to record like the history of it or whatever." And it's like that's not needed. Like you could write that out and still do the same fucking film.
Yeah, it's like it's World War fucking two. Like we have
Yeah.
record of it, and nobody had a camera.
And you're also like, it's not like you're being too fucking accurate about, like, none of this shit happened in World War II. So,
Yeah.
at least I don't think so. I mean, shit.
Well, well, it's like a very very exaggerated. It's like if some of
Yeah,
those experiments they were working on succeeded, sort of thing.
that's, yeah. That could be like a historical, we could do like a historical episode and it would still be horror just based on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so we gave you nearly 15 minutes or so of spoiler free, and now I think I just got to get into the actual story of it. Uh, so I broke it up into three parts, like Act 1, 2, and 3. It says, in this documentary found footage style horror movie, I already told
god
y'all
damn
that. You know what? I took thorough notes. We're following, I already got into the part that fucking uh we watch as they journey across the war-torn cities, one after another, on a mission to discover their lost comrades. This movie doesn't shy away from the brutality of a war-stricken town. We see bodies lying in heaps. We hear the strained breaths of the dying. So, like, to start out, it's not too, I don't know, like, there's horror, but in, like, a realistic way. Like, you just see, like, the horrors of what would have actually been the war. So it's not,
it. It's like come and see that turns into dark dog soldiers at a point.
yeah, yeah, that's a fair assessment. So we get like a few glimpses of things, or I feel like we get some glimpses, perhaps, because at one point there's I think it's a bear. It's like the skeleton of a bear, I believe.
It's
And
it's
it's
Russia. There's a bear.
yeah, well, I don't know bear anatomy, but I think it was a bear. Uh and it's completely like the carcass has been stripped. It's just bone. And that could be that animals had, stripped it, or maybe the townspeople for a food source, or maybe something slightly more nefarious. We also come across a soldier who I don't know if I didn't understand what was on like his glove, like at the tips of his fingers was some sort of like tools or something, or
Yeah, it looked like the Terminator's fingers, like when he takes his skin off.
yeah.
It kind of
I'm like,
looked like robotic.
yeah, I was like, I don't know tools, so I don't know what to call this, but he has like tools kind of or something on the ends of his fingers, and he has like visible metal on his face. But then he quickly just explodes. Like he just his head explodes right in front of the camera, in front of our cameraman. Uh
And then blood gets on the camera lens
Here we go.
and it's just immediately gone. Like
Don't worry
one
about it.
one little wipe and it's just gone.
They maybe they cut that bit out, man.
No, because at other times something like that happens and they do cut. This time they don't.
They just did a better cut of it, like so good you didn't even notice.
Well, how they cut in a war zone.
They cut it in post. They didn't, don't worry about it. I like my defense of the camera situation is don't worry about it, man. Like source, trust me, bro. Like so it's around this time that we come across I'm gonna call him a fucking coward. Like I literally wrote coward, but I think I did mislabel him as a German soldier. Which I don't know. They say he like at one point later on in the movie, the Russians do call him Jew boy. So like you could be. I don't know if he was like German or Russian or what side he was on specifically. Did you catch that? Like
Didn't they have a couple Polish people work with them?
they did, and I'm gonna sound like such a piece of shit, but it all just sounds like a European accent to me. I'm like, they're like, you don't sound Russian. I'm like, oh, does he not? Because I, uh, but I'm an uncultured American. I don't know what to say.
So he could have been a Pole.
Yeah, he could have been Polish, yeah. But he definitely was a Jew boy because they say that in the movie. Uh, but they find him hiding amongst the village, and the Russians take him captive and make him the cameraman. Like, I don't know who was in charge of the camera before, but now it's this cowardly Jewish guy hanging out in one of the abandoned villages. Uh, so he documents the Russian soldiers on their mission. It felt like on this watch, I realized that it's not as slow of a slow burn as I had initially thought. Because I
You
kind
thought
of
it was a
thought of,
slow bird at first?
yeah, I mean, when I first watched it, I think I was just like, I grew really accustomed to the horror movies that, like, right out the gate show you someone being, like, murdered or something, and then they cut to, like, some of the more, like, slower parts. So when I first watched it as, like, a teenager, absolutely. I was like, this is so slow. It's been 5 minutes. No one's died. But then
I,
I,
but then what?
oh, no, you go. You can go ahead.
I had the opposite effect. Like the first time I watched it, I was like, "Holy fuck, this thing's just nonstop action. This is awesome." And then
Cool,
this time, I
yeah.
was like, "I don't remember so many lulls in the action. Like I thought this
Yeah.
was a little more fast paced." Same thing happened to
Well,
me with Wreck. First time I watched Wreck, I was like, "Oh my god, this movie doesn't let up."
hmm
And then I watched it a second time, and I was like, "You know what? There's plenty of downtime in this thing."
I only, like, I don't know, I couldn't get through Wreck. I have not seen it in full because, uh, I don't know, I think it was just like, it was slow at first. And sometimes, like, some days my attention span is not as good as other days, and it might have just been a bad attention span day or something. But I was like, this is so slow, and I didn't get through it. I need to, like, try to give it a better chance on, like, a high attention span day or something.
I guess when your first found footage movie is the Blair Witch Project,
hmm
everything seems fast paced from there.
Yeah, I couldn't say what my first found footage horror movie is. Maybe The Descent.
It's not found footage, is it?
There are parts, well, I think it's like half and half because once they're in the cave and stuff, aren't they recording things? I mean, there's that whole part with the like the black, well, it's not like black light, but the night vision and stuff. Is that not on a camera?
I don't know. I haven't watched that in a while.
Because like I know some parts aren't found footage for sure, but I feel like
Like,
in the cave it is.
I was thinking it just used a good bit of POV shots, kinda, but not like their camera.
Yeah, that could be true too. And just because there is like a night vision scene doesn't necessarily imply that it's found footage. Like that could have just been an artistic choice.
Could have been a predator.
Could have been.
The predator's found footage, but from the predator's perspective.
Hot take. So, yeah, I actually clocked it in my notes that I think the action kind of starts to pick up in this movie around the 20-minute mark because that's when we come across our first human machine hybrid. Uh, one of the Russian soldiers attempts to, and I quote, put it out of its misery, but he's attacked before he can do so. So, like, 20 minutes in, we start getting a lot of like action, and then it's just kind of like one wave after another of like these creatures. And I'm a big fan of like a human hybrid thing in horror.
So, like, body horror, it would be like your preferred.
Um, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think I am like pretty into body horror, but like specifically body horror that involves like machinery, you know? I mean, I like The Fly too. The Fly is fucking great, but if it's something where it's like I don't know, I can't think of like a body horror as an example where it's like maybe like Tusk is fine, but like Tusk is kind of body horror, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. That one doesn't like scare me or anything, and like it
Are you
doesn't have
thinking of
that cool factor. Like I mean, I like Tusk, but I don't think it's like a really cool movie in the way that I'll think it's really cool if it's a machine human hybrid thing.
Tetsuo the Iron Man?
I've not seen it, but I'd be willing to. Like I just haven't got the chance to.
I think it's on Prime.
What I
Shutter, maybe?
really what I really want to see. and I believe it's on Tubi, so I just have to like make sure I can pay attention to it because it's Japanese. But Tokyo Gore Police, like I
Oh
really
yeah,
want to
that's a
watch
good one.
that.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one's
it
awesome.
it seems awesome, and I noticed that there's something in Tokyo Gore Police that looks a lot like one of the monster. Actually, we'll get to it at the end and we'll discuss our favorite monsters, but my favorite monster from Frankenstein's army, there's a creature in Tokyo Gore Police that also kind of looks like that.
Um, I wonder, Tokyo Gore Police was like 2000s, wasn't it? Like early 2000s.
I know it's before Frankenstein's army for sure, so I think that they did kind of like take from that. But I noticed a similar nod to a previous horror film in this, like in
Mm.
Frankenstein's army. So I think maybe they pulled from like some other horror movies and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Shortly after they like come across their first human machine hybrid, at this point I'm just gonna call them like Frankenstein's monsters. Uh, so shortly thereafter, they come across a German man who is seemingly injured, who explains that the surrounding townspeople are nowhere to be seen, either due to death or from running away. He does not divulge what they were running away from, and it kind of pisses me off because the other guy that they're holding captive interrupts him, and it's like, no, 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 let him explain what they're running from. That's probably important information. Like, what
Yeah.
is so terrifying? I mean, I guess you could just assume they're running away from the war, but the Russian soldiers specifically ask him, like, hey, what were they running away from? And the other guy interrupts him, and it's like, I hate that shit in movies. Just let him answer. Like,
Yeah.
you're probably fucking yourself up in the long run if you don't let him answer the question, but whatever. During the interrogation, we hear the captive German man, which again, I think at this point, maybe you're correct and maybe he's Polish or something. But I'll just refer to him as the cameraman. Ask about the whereabouts of the doctor. We're led to believe that the doctor will lead us to the missing soldiers. The Russian soldiers, now led by the injured German man, make their way to the doctor. And that concludes our first act. So I don't know if you have any more gripes about the camera or
Yeah, it should not have been a fucking found footage movie. Um,
you're not wrong.
no, yeah, Act One is a lot of exposition, some of it needless, especially if you get rid of the camera,
Hmm.
because there's like so many lines of dialogue that are trying to justify having a camera when you could just not.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we meet characters, but none of them matter. Like I couldn't tell you a single name. They're all just default Russian guy and then traitor.
Russian Soldier 1, Russian Soldier 2.
You got Alex Terrible and uh, Ivan Terrible and Genghis Terrible.
Genghis, I think, is
Yeah, it's Mongolian.
different. Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's Russian. Yeah, I would have liked maybe the first act to have been shorter and then give us a longer glimpse of the monsters because like that's a gripe I'm gonna probably mention later, but I again
Oh,
like
me too.
yeah, like they could have given us a little more time with the monsters had they cut the first act a little shorter.
Like, why? Never mind. We'll get there.
We'll save that for later.
Putting the
Okay,
cart before
so
the horse right now.
yeah. So, 30 minutes into the film, we're plunged headfirst into the lion's den, or rather, the monster's den. We're hit with this wave after wave of imaginative human machine hybrids bent on killing anyone in their path. Our soldiers now realize they were set up by the Indian German man who, quote, stayed behind to feed the animals, as he claims. We now realize the animals were the monsters, and these soldiers will be their next meal, so to speak.
Did you write this?
Yeah,
You did?
yeah.
In your own words?
Are you being mean to me?
I should be because we're live, but no.
Thanks for not bullying me right now.
No,
That's
good
kind.
job.
I don't like even okay, because when I write things, I'm like, I just fucking sound like AI or something. Like I got it's just like what is this like high school English class? I don't the way I write is just I don't know, man. After this epiphany from the Russian soldiers, they come across a German woman and a small child hiding, which I have questions about, but like the camera, just let it go. Because it's like, why were they there? Where were they hiding? For how long were they hiding? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The woman
No,
divulges what?
I just no. I let that one go. I was still hung up on the camera.
I'll gripe on this one. You gripe on the camera, and together we'll just collectively bitch. All right.
Yeah, we'll combine efforts on the monsters.
Mm-hmm. The woman divulges that she has no idea how many monsters exist within this bunker as the doctor keeps making more. We're now hit with a second wave of monsters, this time featuring my favorite monster, but we'll get back to that at the end of the description. After the wave has subsided, it's discovered that the cameraman was using a radio blocker to send a false SOS for non-existent Russian soldiers, which like I have no idea what kind of technology that is. They call it a radio blocker. I guess that's a thing.
I I do not know enough about radio. I know you can block radio frequencies. I don't know
Yeah.
how efficiently they could at the time.
Apparently pretty good because the cameras were better quality than you think. So they
Fair.
had some high tech back then.
But all the monsters are like steampunk.
Yeah. Yeah, they are like steampunk style monsters.
So
But
they're like
maybe
acknowledged. I don't know. It's weird.
maybe Dr. Frankenstein just had a style, you know what I mean? Maybe he was an artiste as well as a madman. So,
So you're saying it's a retro futuristic retelling of Frankenstein.
sure, yeah. Yeah.
So the camera is higher quality, but the fucking planes and tanks and everything are World War II accurate.
I don't think we don't see planes and tanks and things really, do we?
No, they reference them, but we don't see them.
At any point where they like, hey, our super fancy high tech tanks and airplanes are gonna be like are very futuristic.
You
Shortly
just
after the soldier what?
you just hear a jet engine flying over.
Yeah. Someone like rolls up in like a some I don't know fancy cars, but like a fucking Corvette, just like
A Tesla tank,
yeah, that well accurate enough.
a Cybertruck that somebody kicks and it just falls apart.
All their tanks are just Cybertrucks.
Well, if the shoe fits, I guess.
Shortly after the soldiers are attacked yet again with a wave of monsters, our soldiers manage to escape where they run into the German boy they were separated from earlier. He's rescued from a monster, but only to be used as a means to look down a chute of some sort. Stained with blood, we understand that this chute is to transport bodies from one level of the bunker to another. The small boy doesn't make it out of the chute alive. This is when another monster comes into play. My co host Matt's favorite, actually, because I remember your favorite monster from when we talked about it.
I
It,
actually switched though
oh,
on a
okay.
rewatch.
Okay. Yeah, because the one you had previously, like, he's fine, but I think there are cooler ones. So
I
I'm
think he's cool
actually,
as shit, but he doesn't do fuck all.
yeah, they didn't utilize the monsters enough, man.
I did realize that he does kill that girl.
The woman that they came
Yeah,
across.
because like you hear the propeller and it's like
hmm
hitting flesh.
But
So
they don't
he's who.
even really, like, show it, do they?
No, they don't at all. Like just a bunch of you hear her scream and you hear that. What would it say on closed caption? Flesh squelching,
Yeah.
and then
Take a book from Stranger Things. Just,
all that debris comes up and they all fall down the chute.
Yeah, they also, like, they don't show, which I guess this is a good thing if you're listening and you're like, oh, the little boy doesn't make it. They don't really show anything for him either. Like, they're holding him down, like, leg by his legs so he can look into the chute. And you actually just see, like, a bunch of smoke and stuff.
Oh, it
Uh,
was him. It wasn't the girl. It was him. That propeller head must have got.
I think Propellerhead had, yeah, perhaps actually, because I think Propellerhead comes in after that little boy. So, yeah, you're probably right. It probably is the propeller guy that takes out the little boy. I don't recall who takes out the woman.
Well, never mind. Propeller head's my favorite again.
Actually, it might have been my favorite that took the woman out because I feel like she kind of disappears around that point that my favorite is
Your
shown.
favorite is now my favorite too. So
Oh, really? Yeah, dude, it's so cool.
it
I
is.
don't know. I like the design of it.
Yeah,
It
there's a
also,
reason it's on the cover.
yeah, it's kind of shown a little more than I feel like a lot of the other ones are too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that's the one that, like, there is a creature in Tokyo Gore Police that looks like that. So that's why I'm, like, really interested to watch it.
Yeah, it's a good Tokyo Gore Police and another it's a duology. It's Meatball Machine and Meatball Machine Kodoku.
Mm-hmm.
They're both in the same vein of absurdist Japanese body horror with
Yeah.
electronics.
Sounds like it's right up my alley. I'll have to, like, check them out. Are those easy to, like, find or are they kind of.
I'm I forget how I watched them. I own Meatball Machine Kodoku.
All right, cool. We can get another janky setup going where, like,
It's probably on Tubi. It's like that quality. But
yeah.
if it's not, then yeah, it's easy to watch that one. And
I
they
know.
don't connect. They're more like together in premise and
Mm-hmm.
not in continuation of the story.
Gotcha. Because I know Tokyo Gore Police, I think I saw was free to stream on Tubi, so maybe the other two are as well.
This is also on Tubi, if you forgot. I think you said
Yeah.
that at the start.
I don't know. I might have not said that, so, like, good on you for mentioning it because I think I failed to do so. It's also free on Fandango.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like they have more commercials for their free stuff than Tubi does, though.
Really? I was hoping the opposite, so I watched it on Fandango this time. And I will say, it was like 7 minutes in when the first commercial hit, so probably does have more commercials than Tubi.
If I would have finished it, I probably would have had one more commercial break. So, like, 4 30-second commercial breaks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was more than that when I watched it on Fandango earlier. So we are now into the third and final act, and I'm gonna
And
try to leave some.
this is where I
Oh,
basically stopped.
okay, okay. So, I mean, I'm giving a lot of like details and stuff to the movie, but truly, it's worth watching simply for the creatures alone. Like, go watch it just because they are cool as shit.
Yeah, the creature designs are so you have Nazis who just already look like kick-ass villains anyway. Like, I'm sorry, don't cancel me, but the Nazi aesthetic,
It is very
it's very
quintessential
striking.
villain. Yeah.
Very striking. There's a reason Star Wars copied it. Fucking Zack Snyder copies it all the time. Like, it works for
Mm-hmm.
villains.
Oh
If you
yeah.
see that rolling up, like, how did people not know? How did they see that? And they're like, you know what? Yeah, you're doing good for humanity. Like,
I like how you basically were like, don't cancel me, but Nazis are villains. Like, kind of what you just did, man. Like,
it's Mr. Trump, don't cancel me, but I
yeah,
stand against everything you stand for.
Trump and Elon, please don't cancel us, but also Nazis are the bad guy.
Like, maybe you should rewatch Schindler's List. And
Yeah.
but yeah, so you take that and then you make steampunk, like, I don't even know how to put it, like steampunk cyborgs with like propellers for heads and like blades for hands, like fucking chainsaws, skin your ass raw. Like, it's they're awesome.
They are. I
Just
feel like this is yet another horror movie that these would make really good comics.
mm, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like take a deranged 15-year-old that can draw really well and probably listens to way too much KMFDM and just set him loose, like on drawing villains. And there you go.
Yeah. All right. So we are now into our third act, which Matt's gonna have to draw from my description, which apparently is academic level writing that I give. I am a superb writer.
You're putting words in my mouth now, but go on.
Yeah. So with the monster subdued, which would be the propeller head one, which all they do, oh my God, so unceremoniously, they're just like, let me just snip this wire. And then he's
Yeah,
like done for.
and then he just explodes. They snip a
Yeah,
wire and he explodes.
like bit of a design flaw, Frankenstein, that you can snip one wire and the whole monster's just done for. You think you would have at least put that wire internally to like protect it, you know?
Yeah, everything else has like steel cages over everything, and this motherfucker just has the explode wire exposed,
Self detonate, cut blue wire. Like,
and he has a
no.
propeller for a head. Like, he has a spinning blade beside the fucking detonate wire.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's like Like if that wire would have just like moved a little, he would have just killed himself. I don't know.
Fucking slight breeze the other direction, and he's gone.
Yeah, which is why like when he was originally your favorite, it's like I do get why because he looks cool and he could be cool, but at the same time it's like he went out like a weak ass bitch. Like he didn't.
It was Boba Fett syndrome. He just looked cool, even though he did
Yeah.
nothing.
What's shit, I don't recall what Boba Fett said. He has like he talks like what's like he ends things with like an A, doesn't he, all the time?
That's Jar Jar.
Oh, you know what? I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I don't know.
It's showing. Yeah, Boba Fett. He has like that cool helmet, and that's literally
Oh,
all he has going for him.
gotcha. I do recall what he looks like, and that's all I recall of him.
Yeah, that's all. That's all there is to recall. He shows up and he does nothing, and then he is in a battle where he does nothing, and then he gets killed at the time by a blind Han Solo who accidentally turned around at the right time.
That is, yeah, that's propeller head.
Yeah,
Like, all right, shit. Okay, so we see the Russian soldiers throw the German cameraman into the chute. He wasn't German. I got that wrong, probably, maybe.
I, I
Uh,
I don't know what that guy's deal was. He did seem to be like a double agent. Like
yeah.
he was working as a Russian for the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't honestly know. A little bit more exposition for that guy would have been good.
Yeah, would have been appreciated. Uh, so they throw him down the chute. Good fucking riddance. I would have done the same thing. Like, fuck that guy, because he's the whole reason they're down there. Uh, he's in the laundry basket because they're still using that. Like, this place used to be a laundromat of some sort, like an underground bunker that was also once a laundromat because they have the chutes, they have the big cloth bins where they're keeping all the body parts. So dude is just like piled on top of a bunch of carcasses. Is that is that insensitive? Should we refer to them as like dead bodies since they're people? Is carcass
Uh,
only for like roadkill or
Living impaired, PC term.
yeah, so he's on top of a bunch of living impaired people. Uh and we are treated to like a myriad of different monsters within the heart of the bunker, which again like we're just seeing him be pulled towards, we're getting towards the doctor, but we're in this like hallway of sorts, and there's just monster after monster, and yet we don't get to really see them. Like there's so many cool monster designs, and they just kind of goofed it on in terms of like I don't know. That's my biggest gripe with this movie. Not the camera, not where was that woman and child hiding. It's why the fuck did you not give us more monster? You know?
It's like they clearly spent a lot of money to make them.
Mm-hmm, because they're cool as
Somebody took
shit.
a somebody took a lot of time to get them looking like that.
Mm-hmm.
What and like the camera lingers on them for a while and they don't look shitty.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were cutting away real quick so you didn't see the flaws. Like they're pretty perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why they didn't use them more. The only one we see multiple times is Stilts Guy.
Yeah, which I mean, you could have had these monsters throughout the entire movie. Like you could have had them out and about above ground and they still maybe the Russian soldiers still would have been on their mission and been like, "No, we got to save our comrades." And then the monsters would have gotten more screen time, but they save it until at least the start of the second act. And then by that time, there is such a plethora of monsters that you can't like absorb all of them in the time frame they give you.
I honestly wouldn't be mad if they did like 13 Ghosts.
Mm,
How the DVD for 13 Ghosts had like a 10 to, well, probably not quite 10 minutes, but like a little short film going into the backstory of all 13, well, the 12 ghosts.
yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at like 5 to 6 minutes explanation about most of these things.
Yeah, I don't know if the DVD like has any sort of feature or like I would love to have the DVD and to see if um maybe they have at least like some fucking behind the scenes of them like making it or talking about the design choices of some of these monsters because like they don't give you enough. And I know you already
Yeah.
said it, but I gotta reiterate that it's not one of those cases where it's like, ah, like the monster looks like shit, so we gotta like keep them in low lighting and we gotta do quick cuts back and forth. Like these are very well done, and they just did not utilize them enough.
Yeah.
So our cameraman makes his way further into the depths of the bunker. Hold on, we then see one of the doctor's experiments. Uh, and this is the one I wanted to ask you about. It's reminiscent to me of the final scene of the classic film Freaks, which is a Todd Browning film, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, which is in your top five. And I'm going to plug our first episode where we talk about our top five movies each. So you should go watch that one after this one or
It's a good
listen
one.
to it or whatever. Did you get that same vibe?
A little bit. Where she's like a teddy bear
Yeah, yeah,
with
it's
the
like her
woman head.
head, yeah, a woman's head sewn onto a teddy bear. It kind of reminded me of, as you know, but maybe some of our listeners haven't seen Freaks. And at the end of that movie, spoiler for this almost 100-year-old movie, uh, that the woman's head is attached to a chicken's body. So
Oh, come on. I was going to watch that tonight.
it's been on my watch list. It's ruined now. Uh,
I'm 97 years old and I've been waiting to watch that.
I swore on my 100th birthday I was gonna fucking watch that movie. So our cameraman soon runs into Ivan, which was one of the Russian soldiers, and I swear, had I not been intentionally writing notes and stuff, I wouldn't know his name. Like, you don't really get to know any of them in a way that like, none of their deaths are emotional to you. They don't hold any substance in terms of, like, emotion. Everybody in this movie is just there to be killed by these cool monsters. The cool monsters that you don't get to see enough of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough. Like, I wish there were more characters so we could
Mm-hmm.
watch different monsters do better killings.
Yeah. Like, I think maybe not now because I'm just kind of sick of them bringing back, like, movies that are 10, 15 plus years old and just now doing sequels and prequels for them. But I think if it would have been like closer to the time frame of when this movie came out, I think a prequel could have worked where where it shows Dr. Frankenstein, like how he's capturing these people, how he's making them, turning them into monsters. I think that would have been an interesting movie.
Yeah, for sure. Just reboot it. Reboot it with a
Yeah,
prequel.
and show us the fucking monsters. Okay, so once we run into Ivan, he was a soldier who was attacked and murdered previously in the bunker. Ivan seems to have no memory of our cameraman and attacks him with a sledgehammer that has replaced his hand. From this point, we cut to the cameraman being held captive because he got his ass knocked out by the sledgehammer.
And
We
that's when
discover,
they break the camera, and then it's just unbroken soon after.
yeah, don't worry about it, man. We discover that the injured German man from before is actually the doctor that the cameraman was looking for, Dr. Frankenstein. And that's the first time it's said in the movie. He's like, "Oh, you're Dr. Frankenstein?" So, like, they just refer to him as the doctor, and then kind of towards the very end, it's like, "Ah, Dr. Frankenstein." But the movie's called Frankenstein's Army, so it's like not some
It,
big plot twist, I guess. But,
in that scene with Teddy Bear Freaks woman, um,
mm-hmm.
there's like family crests and shit that say Frankenstein on the walls and stuff. So it's like alluding to it there.
I didn't notice that, and I was gonna save this until the end, but since you brought that up, um, I noticed in the credits that the teddy bear woman, I'll call her, is actually it's listed as like they probably didn't call her teddy bear woman, but whatever they like her monster name is, because all of the monsters do have specific names. But it's like teddy bear woman slash doctor's mom. So that's his fucking mom. And
Oh,
then there's family crests all over in the room.
that's
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy. I wonder if he like twistedly thought he was like keeping her alive, preserving her. Like
Hmm.
maybe she died because Frankenstein's whole thing is bringing people back. So I assume
Yeah.
these people weren't alive when they got augmented.
I we can
Well,
get
well,
into
not
that.
not all of them, I should say.
Oh yeah, but like that could have been the case with like his mom.
Yeah, maybe she died and he brought her back, or maybe she was terminally ill and he brought her back, or
Yeah, because
preserved her.
it's discussed like Dr. Frankenstein mentions several times like he clearly has daddy issues. Uh, but he doesn't mention his mom at all, so that's why I was like, I don't know if there was maybe a deleted scene that we were supposed to know that was his mom, because it doesn't state that whatsoever in the movie. He never mentions his mom. Uh, but like clearly him and his dad have issues, so like I wonder if he was trying to like save his mom or if he also had issues with her and so he like it's a 50-50 because they don't
Yeah,
I don't know. I would love to know if there was a deleted scene that kind of lets us know that's his mom.
we need to. If you're watching this, we forgot. Remind us in the comments to look up the special features on the Frankenstein's Army DVD.
Yeah, because I do enjoy this movie, but it's flawed. I'm not gonna act like it's a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5.
What about a 2.5?
It's definitely more than a less than mid.
On a previous episode?
Yes, who was on a previous episode where we discussed our 5 favorite final girls. So on the to-do list thus far is go watch our first episode, top 5 movies, and then go watch our top 5 favorite final girls, and then go watch all the other ones, 'cause fuck.
Watch that Phantasm one because we had to look at each other for 2.5 hours for that one. So it
Please, please go watch the Phantasm one. He made me watch five of them things back to back. Like, a lot of
it was
effort was put into that.
it was a good time though. You got to admit.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Somewhere five was rough.
I think on a rewatch, if you ever chose to do so, you'd be like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what, I was a little hard on five,
Yeah. I
but
think if I rewatch them, I'm gonna realize I was hard on the first one for sure, because like the hindsight of knowing what a lot of that stuff was, which is explained in the previous movie, or the later movies, helps. So Dr. Frankenstein does mention, I didn't include this part in my notes, but I'm gonna just include it here. Um, he essentially, like, he captures the cameraman, and he feeds him some sort of like soup, or I guess stew, and it's heavily implied that it is just like people. Oh, so there is cannibalism in here. Ha!
oh shit,
My favorite.
no wonder you like it so much.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a small part of it that I wouldn't consider this like a cannibal movie, but I do think like it's implied that there must be some sort of like people in it, because he's like, oh, it's got my own special like recipe and secret ingredients and all this, and then he mentions that he feeds that to his creations as well, which, like,
It's just
explain to me how you're feeding propeller head anything.
the tube on the other side, maybe.
That's his feeding tube. One is his life tube, the other his feeding tube. That's all you need. Okay, so the cameraman is then made to record a crazed Dr. Frankenstein as he talks about his long history of experimentation. All the while, the cameraman is reminding the doctor of the proximity of the approaching forces. He offers the doctor an opportunity to work for the political regime, which made me think that he was German. Like, that's why I thought that the cameraman was German. Was like, maybe Dr. Frankenstein is just some crazy guy working of his own accord.
That's what I got out of him.
Yeah, but the Nazi party is like, oh, we've been hearing about this. We want that guy to work for us. So hence why the whole time I thought the cameraman was German, but they don't really like specify where he's from or anything. So,
Yeah, he because there's another movie, World War II movie that deals. It's like a zombie movie. It's
mm-hmm.
called Overlord.
Yeah,
I think it has a lot of similarities with this, where it's like Nazi experimentation that leads to fucked up creatures running around and offing people.
yeah. I don't
So
know if I've even heard of that.
yeah, it's like Operation Overlord is like a big World War II mission thing, and it kind of like puts a horror sci-fi twist on that.
I'll have to check it out. Just keep piling up my watch list, as
Yeah.
now there's like four movies I gotta check out.
If you're watching this, nobody checked out anything they said they were going to, so please comment to remind us.
Thanks for calling me out, because you're probably right, but I hate that.
I included myself. I don't know if I said I was going to watch anything, but that just
No, just
proves
me,
my point.
man. Okay, so we watch as Dr. Frankenstein performs one of his brutal experiments on one of the captured Russian soldiers. As the camera does not shy away from the brutality, This is also where we get one of the more comical inventions. Uh, Lost my place. Or do you know what I'm about to talk about?
I do. I remember of everything that stuck with me from this movie, this one did the most.
Yeah, it's definitely the dumbest creation. We'll get into it at the end. We'll talk about it because we're almost at the end of the summary or the synopsis. Uh, Dimitri, who is the name of our cameraman, passes out and is now tied up by the doctor, his final experiment. Dimitri begs for his life to no avail. Before the doctor can begin his experiment, the bombing starts. As the doctor leaves, he gives Dimitri a final warning. Without him, his experiments will become crazed and surely attack the still tied down Dimitri. Sasha, see, I would not know any of these fucking names had I not been keeping notes. Cannot stress enough that they're like very
Demi-
irrelevant.
Dimitri's very German, isn't it? That's like a very German name.
I can't
Do I,
even tell the accents apart. Please don't ask me. Like,
I we had a German exchange student named Dimitri. So I'm
oh,
assuming Dimitri is German now that I know his name.
okay. I thought it was Russian, but we've already established I'm an idiot. So
I mean, it very well could be. Like, you can name your kid stuff when you live in a
yeah,
different country than its origin.
I know I'm Russian, but I really like the sound of that German name.
Yeah.
So Sasha, which is a very Russian name for sure. I don't know why in America Sasha is generally regarded as like a female leaning name, but in Russia it's more masculine.
Yeah. Like
Just makes you
Yvonne.
yeah, it makes you wonder how stuff like that happens. Like where does the where does it flop over like gender wise? Like when in history?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or I guess
Odd.
not even in history because like
It'd,
still in
it'd be
Russia,
like
it's still regarded
culturally.
as masculine. Yeah, yeah. It makes you wonder like why or maybe other people aren't little nerds about names and stuff like I am, so who knows. Maybe people
Well,
are like, I don't give a shit, move on. Like,
like Michelle is like the French Michael, but then over here, Michelle is a feminine version of Michael.
yeah, it really makes you wonder why like linguistically speaking that it's just it just changes. I don't know. But Sasha, a fellow Russian captive, escapes his ties, beheads Dr. Frankenstein, grabs the camera, and just before he escapes,
Of
we see
course, he
Jeremy.
grabs the fucking camera.
Well, yeah, because he says something about basically his goal is to get it because he wants to become whatever like the head military leader is, and he thinks with like the head of Dr. Frankenstein and with this camera footage he's gonna get like high honors and awards and shit. So he does mention that, but it's like I mean they mention every excuse to have the camera. But he grabs the camera, and just before escape, we see Dmitri being eaten alive by a former Russian soldier. As the movie comes to a close, we end on a single photo of Sasha standing next to Stalin with a Russian song playing in the background, which I don't know if that's like the Russian national anthem or something, but
Is
it's
it the
the
one that plays
very,
at the start? Is
I
it the
think
same song
so.
from the start? That
I
song's
think
a
so.
bop. That is
It,
a bop.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that song goes hard. Like, as an American, our national anthem is stupid and boring. Like, we need a better one.
Yeah.
Give us Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. Make that the new national anthem.
I was thinking People Equal Shit by Slipknot.
Cast your votes, like viewers. Like which would you prefer to be the national anthem?
Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus or People Equal Shit by Slipknot.
Both equally accurate descriptions.
So
Okay, so that's the full, probably maybe, I don't know, maybe gave too many descriptors, but I feel like you got a full rundown. Uh, you said your new favorite is my favorite, which is referred to as the mosquito because it
yep,
is on like stilts and it has this kind of like long mosquito-esque type of, I don't know, appendage on its face. I don't know what the fuck it's for, but is it like
it's
a
a drill.
drill?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
drill.
drill. Um, so that's super cool. And I noticed in the credits, because I checked out like the monsters, that there was apparently two. And I think that's why we see it twice.
Uh,
Yeah, because one is small mosquito, and then the other was, I don't know if it was just called mosquito or like large mosquito or something, but one was definitely referred to as small mosquito. So,
that makes it a little less cool to me.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the fact that there's two of them running around, it's like,
How unoriginal, Frankenstein.
yeah, you experiment more.
Yeah. So it is interesting, though, that, I encourage you to watch the movie rather than just like look up the monsters because it's worth like seeing them kind of in action, you could say. But
But
after
see,
you view the movie, like look up because they all have their own names. So it's worth looking it up just to like see what they're named.
they could do a DVD feature though, where that's like two brothers that got turned into the same sort of
Exactly.
monster, which would make it
Yeah.
cool again.
Yeah, that would be cool. We can just like retcon that and just say that that's the case
Just make
regardless.
our own head canon for all these monsters.
Exactly. Exactly. I had
The
mentioned, I don't know how I worded it. I think I was nicer. But basically the dumbest one, I think I might have called it the, I don't even remember how I worded it, but basically the dumbest experiment from him is, it's like a little cauldron with legs.
it's
Uh,
great. It's my
yeah,
second favorite.
it's so silly. It's I don't know what the fuck it's even for. I'm like, is it a trash can? Does it work as like, does he just, is it like his purse where he just keeps some of his supplies in there? Like I have no clue what its actual function is.
So to me, that is now his Igor, who
Mm,
was a assistant who was like, "You're going too far, Victor. You're going too far," and he turned him into a trash can.
that actually I like that because he does have it with him. Like he even commands it. He's like, "Come on," and like it follows him around as if it were an Igor. So that's fitting. There is one that I think for some reason it stands out more to me than a lot of the others because most of them are very steampunk visually, but then there's one that is pretty obviously female. Um, whereas the rest you have no clue. They're so mechanical that they're not gender specific. Um, but for sure there's one towards the end that's like aiding Dr. Frankenstein, where like most of them are just kind of running around in the bunker, but like Trash Can Boy is next to him, and as is the female one, and she is like bandaged, like she's in bandages, almost like I wonder if that's some sort of like nod to like Bride of Frankenstein or something. Um, because there's a couple nods. Like we mentioned the one about freaks. We mentioned there was one earlier that was mentioned.
That was too long ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. If we were smarter, we would have remembered, but you know, here we are. Um, but it's got a few little nods to like other horror movies, I think. So, but she's all bandaged up, but she has this kind of like long, I don't know if she has like a tube or something running to the back of her head, but it's just interesting that there was like one very noticeably female uh creature amongst all these like steampunk ones. And I've now given the description of like four monsters, and that barely puts a dent in it. Like, I wish I would have counted monsters. I wish I would have thought to have done that. But I would say easily there's maybe like 15 or more monsters, would you say?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like 15 to 20 probably.
There's some that just hang out in the background. Like he goes in that one room and there's two, but only one of them moves.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that hallway scene shows a lot of them, and you don't really get to see anything with them though, which is unfortunate.
I figure
Uh,
some of the ones in the back of that scene are like from other scenes, and it's just like, nope, nobody will notice.
I don't know. I've said it too many times already in this, but I really wish we could have seen more from the monsters. And I don't know if I ever get the DVD, man. The first thing I'm doing is going to those special features because like I gotta understand like the thought process, how they were conceptualized, like anything to do with those monsters because they're really badass. I would be heartbroken if I worked on those monsters because people put a lot of work into those and then they were barely shown.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm gonna add it to my Amazon wish list. I'm definitely doing that.
You know, it's already on mine. I noticed there's a DVD that includes I don't want to I think it's a figure of the mosquito.
Oh
It's
shit!
Yeah, but the thing is that it is not a DVD that is in English, and it says it's not compatible with American like
Hmm.
DVD players, and I'm like, it's almost worth getting it just for that figure. Like,
If it's cheap enough, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I've considered putting that on my wish list too, just so I could get the figure of it. But
That's what I like about 4Ks. They're just region free.
hmm
Like they stopped that finally.
it doesn't
Which
make any sense to do that anyways, you know?
I wish I would have known about that because there was a fucking badass battle royale uh, steelbook,
Oh yeah.
and I mean this thing was fucking sleek, and it was like $20 on eBay, which is normally like 40 some.
hmm
But it said Japanese, and I region B Japanese, but I didn't
Uh,
realize that 4Ks play anywhere, so the fact it's region B doesn't fucking matter.
yeah.
And now it's like $80.
Fuck. Well, maybe one day there'll be another $20 one on eBay.
Maybe, or maybe America will fucking get one.
We can hope.
But
It's not going to be us because we're too lazy to do it, but someone start a petition. We'll definitely sign it. Battle Royale DVD premiere
4K.
steelbook, 4K steelbook.
It looks exactly like the Japanese one. Just do it here.
Too lazy to make the petition, but not too lazy to sign it. So get it
I
going.
just won't remember to make it.
All right, so is that all we've got on it?
Yeah, fuck that cameraman.
And fuck whoever didn't show more of those monsters.
Yep. That'd be the director, I guess, or the editor, or both. Fuck
Or
them both.
or it could have even been the production company was like, "Nah, you got to shorten this film or something." I don't know.
Yeah, no
Hard to
doubt.
say.
Because it's like not even 90 minutes. It's like 86, maybe. Like,
Yeah, it's not long.
so they were like, we need a tight under 90. It's like, no, you don't. Not with this one.
Yeah.
I'd watch this shit. I would watch these monsters pop up and kill Russians for 4 hours. The Brutalist doesn't need to be 4 hours. Frankenstein's army needs to be 4 hours.
You gotta leave that letterbox review. I would watch these monsters kill Russians for 4 hours. That's great.
So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's gonna be all for today then. So thanks for hanging with us. Do you want to plug your socials?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok until it goes away. I'm real dumb, REEL, and I'll be that wherever I go when TikTok goes away.
Yep. And if you go to TikTok now and follow him there, then I'm sure when the countdown begins for it to disappear again, that he will update you on wherever he's moving to.
Yeah, probably YouTube.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube as well, and TikTok as Piper Purgatory. And, you can catch our podcast anywhere you fucking can catch a podcast.
Except iTunes.
Yeah.
They won't let either of us make an account right now for some reason, and I keep forgetting to email customer service.
Which is why he also won't remember if to make a petition. You see, he doesn't remember things.
Yep, it's like we could we'll give you the same reviews next year with completely different
Yeah.
perspectives.
I mean, even your favorite monster changed. So, yeah. All right, well,
So
you want
yeah,
to
that's all we got. You can fuck off now.
go on get.